And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blanken. Tyler, it's Sunday. I have a break coming up. You had a break recently. You get a day off. I get two, and I've been thinking about it a lot. How are you headed into what I get to celebrate, or not celebrate, rodeo break?
Our Tucson listeners are probably very familiar with rodeo break. You get Thursday and Friday off from school
Yes,
in celebration of the rodeo coming through town. I will be on campus. I will be working at Winchester. But like you said, I got President's Day off. You did not, so it all evens out. Man, I'm feeling good. I'm grateful for so much. It's been a fast month. February.
Oh my gosh.
The shortest month of the year, which it should not be. Always flies by, particularly this year. Being back in teaching and just how quickly the weeks go by when you're doing this work, man, it's been a very positive February. Obviously, happy Black History Month. This is the last episode we can say that. Our last recording
That's wild.
February.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a lot to be grateful for. I am of course elated to see you. I know we're going to talk about the latest pro wrestling and pop culture headlines. I have a question for you centered on Roman Reigns and CM Punk, the likely night 2 main event of Mania. AEW is on fire right now. I want to ask you about Hangman Page's offer for men's world champion MJF, and we'll talk about the Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team and much more. So I'm very much looking forward to Gimmick Infringement today. How are you, my friend? Happy Rodeo Break Week.
I am good. Rodeo Break is going to be hopefully a productive, busy week for me. I know it'll be busy, hopefully productive as well. Things are great, man. We're hurtling toward production being, full swing and getting ready for the show. Our show opens in just a matter of weeks. Who knows? Maybe next week, I'll have some really nice lighting to do a podcast from the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief set. I really liked the way that looked last year when I got to do it, and I won't have to worry about having, gambling ads interjected anywhere. So it might make it a little bit better, a little easier for me to do it live from a school and from a set that I'm really proud of. The kids have been working really hard. The show is going to be great. It does open March 11th, 12th, 13th, 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. I think it's 6 p.m. At the Marana High School auditorium. I'm not sure how much tickets are. Usually for adults, they're around $15. Everybody always says, whoa, $15, it's a lot. Correct. But if you saw the bills for the set, you'd understand. If you saw the bills for everything else, just to get the rights, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. We have to recoup our money somehow so we can afford to keep doing good productions and keeping up with things, because it's a lot of work and really cool opportunities for the kids. But I'm excited. I'm grateful for so many different things. Like you said, AEW is in fact on fire right now, and WWE has some incredibly intriguing storylines heading into Elimination Chamber. I'm excited to talk about it. So hit me with your WWE question.
Yeah, let's do it. So WrestleMania, obviously, Elimination Chamber is truly around the corner this weekend. As a matter of fact, I'm just realizing that now as we're processing this, or I'm processing. Elimination Chambers this weekend. Obviously, WrestleMania coming up in April. But I want to ask you about the latter. Now, for me, the beauty of WrestleMania matchups is that they're big. Obviously, there should be two just massive stars going head to head, or a culmination of a storyline that ideally has been built up over the last year. But Brad, they're also at their best for me when I don't know who is going to win the match, when it is a proverbial toss-up. So that leads me to my question for you. We talked about this a few weeks ago. CM Punk, Roman Reigns. It was the first match officially confirmed for Mania Vegas Part 2. My question for you, who should leave Las Vegas as the World Heavyweight Champion? Why? Roman Reigns or the current champion, one CM Punk?
That's a great question. So while you were talking, I was playing out scenarios in my head where CM Punk isn't champ headed in. I don't know. Okay, so hear me out. Okay. Number one, I think it needs to be Roman. Number two, I want it to be Roman. Let me rephrase it. I just want it to be Roman. Roman with the belt, yes, it feels right. Number two, what if Finn wins? Okay, so hear me out. Opening match of the night, right? I don't think all the spots have been taken in Elimination Chamber. So Finn wins, Punk loses, joins the Chamber match. Punk wins Chamber. Roman already called out CM Punk, but if he's not champ, maybe Punk calls out Finn Balor and we have a triple threat and it's those three. Maybe that's the main event. However, I don't want to sully a CM Punk Roman Reigns one-on-one because to your point, I think that's the one. But I'd be here for either way because we get Finn's music back. We already have it. I don't know if that was a one-off for the crowd or what, but good grief. Good grief, that was awesome. I think he got so into it, he forgot how the entrance works with his arms going up because he was a little late in that first one. But that was awesome. I think it has to be Roman. I think Roman is the change we need. I think people are ready to see him as champ again. And I think overall for the company, it's just, I don't know, it's just good. He is, okay, hear me out. If you want a literal face of the company, which one of CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, or Roman Reigns would you want? A literal face, because my literal face is going to be Roman Reigns.
Literal faces.
Yes.
Is funny. Can I interest you at all in a highly anticipated, long-awaited CM Punk heel turn in the main event,
Yeah,
which leads
100%.
to him retaining? I think it's either the move is Roman wins this match straight up because you've already seen heel Roman, or a newly nefarious CM Punk cheats to beat Roman and he leaves dastardly and all with that title. I think it's got to be one of those two scenarios. I'm very intrigued by the latter.
Yeah, I would love to see heel Punk on the way in. I don't know how they're going to build it, but I would love to see that on the way in, and then have like monster babyface Roman Reigns against monster heel CM Punk because you know he can do it. You know he's good with it. I would love that. I would love to see that going in. I would love to see that coming out. I think that makes everything feel fresh, right? So I don't know which one I want more.
I'll put it this way. Either option is going to be better than the Mania main event that we got last year. I was thinking about this in preparation of seeing you. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at Mania last year. The Travis Scott of it all. It feels like much longer than a year ago. And I think that's because I just buried it in the depths of my wrestling fan mind. I think I've tried to forget about how all that went down. But it's amazing how wrestling works, Brad. And just a few months later, WWE was able to rectify that, whatever that main event was, by simply running the match back. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. This time, Cena in all his... I think by that time, he had recently changed back to being a babyface.
Yeah.
And if memory serves, that was wasn't that like a street fight, or they had some sort of stipulation? I could be making this up, but the match had the exact same two competitors, although Travis Scott didn't make it to SummerSlam. But the match was just universally praised by GI, dare I say, and seemingly by everybody we're in a group chat with who also watches WWE. So I think I would hope that however this match plays out, WWE has just learned that sometimes, I mean, in this case, CM Punk cheating to win would be a big deal and would be sensical. But I hope this year there are no extraneous run-ins. Well, I don't know. I use the word extraneous. I don't know if I've done it on the podcast before. I hope there aren't any unnecessary run-ins or just any of that extra booking that we don't need. I think the crowd is going to be as close to 50-50 as we've seen in a recent WrestleMania main event. CM Punk has his loyal fans. Roman Reigns has, he's a tribal chief. He's the OTC. He has his fan base as well. I think this is going to be a much more successful venture than last year. Granted, that was an incredibly low bar, but I just hope if it's not the CM Punk heel turn, there's something to be said for, okay, we have essentially two baby faces here. Sometimes the best fighter, the best wrestler can win, period, without bringing in, a bunch of different people to interfere. Granted, it worked for Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania 40 in Philly, but that was a completely unique Avengers Endgame situation. I don't need to see Travis Scott this year.
I think I was looking it up because I was like, what was the stip for it? I couldn't figure it out.
Wasn't there a stipulation?
I don't know.
Am I making that up?
I couldn't find it. I didn't see anything, but it doesn't mean there wasn't anything.
They just ran it back like that. It felt like a completely different.
I know there was the Avalanche
experience. Maybe that's what yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it was great. What I didn't like about all of that, the entire thing of that, and they did rectify it. They did everything they needed to do, but it kind of pissed me off that this place that's like, we're creating an illusion, we're doing all this storytelling, we're doing all this stuff. We're going to acknowledge that the reason for the character change was bad writing. Like, then why do I what? Like, we know it's scripted, but like when you pull back the curtain and go like, oh, I'm a different character because of a script, it kind of ruins that for me. And now I don't really believe you. It's like, great, we got babyface Cena back, fine, but like, you couldn't write that into a script. You made the script was bad. I don't know. I didn't like that. That feels like an off-air interview situation more than, actual storyline. I wouldn't break character in the middle of the Avengers, to your point, and just be like, well, I'm gonna snap at the end here as Tony Stark because I didn't really like the script leading into it. Like, I just, what are we doing?
It was a cold summer. It was a brutally hot summer in Marana and in Glendale, Arizona.
Yes,
WWE creative wise at the top, it was a cold summer, man. We had Money in the Bank. We had. I finally watched Unreal, WWE Unreal on Netflix, and just seeing how they put all those pieces together and R-Truth, and it was just an interesting summer, man. To your point, rectify is the word I use, but WWE was not in a great place with that John Cena title run last summer.
Certainly.
So I wonder what the ramifications will be, whether it's Roman or CM Punk. What is the plan for these summer months, which it seems like often fall in this odd period of the WWE calendar. Obviously, Money in the Bank is still a big deal. It's a huge pay-per-view. But, okay, we had Rumble, we had Mania, and then what are we doing until SummerSlam in August? Last summer, I think a lot of boxes were not checked for me as a fan.
Yeah, it was rough. But it was very rough. But we got a lot of good things out of it. So they did rectify most of it, and we did end up getting a lot. I thought Mania overall was, I don't know, man. Like I keep going back to the Bloodline storyline, and I miss that feeling because that the entirety of that was just so effing good.
Yeah, that was different. We don't get that. We don't get that very often.
No, I don't know that we'll ever get anything like that again. Or at least for the next 20 years, because I feel like the way the NWO was before it got bloated and then everything kind of blew up, that's about as close as something like that has gotten. DX felt like ironically enough now that it's, WWE, DX felt like the indie version of NWO, like the younger, talented guys doing the edgy thing at the other company versus the veteran big guys and the big names doing this thing. It just felt like WCW was the polished product and WWF was the dangerous product. And very much parallels with like what AEW is now. Not nearly as tight of a race or anything like that. It's not really much of a race. There's an alternative product and there's the WWE, and they're not exactly an alternative that's drawing billions of people away from it. That being said, I just think that the Bloodline 1.0 was something that is not going to be easily duplicated, if possible, even a little bit. And with 2.0, they started to try to do that formula with Solo. And then Jacob came out of that. And I don't know that it did much for everybody else or anybody else, really. So I guess Jay, it did stuff for Jay. Definitely. I don't know that it did much for Jimmy.
Sure, that's true. If we're ranking who left that storyline the best, I would certainly agree that Jimmy's at the bottom of that.
Yeah, Jay left.
Jay became main event. Yeah. Jay, Jacob Fatu,
Solo obviously
is probably a future world champ as soon as at WrestleMania, which you predicted. Solo was elevated 100%. Yeah. Jimmy, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jimmy.
Even Sammy. Like even Sammy being a viable contender for the title
100%.
rather than
Sammy Uso. Absolutely. Yeah.
Getting relegated to only mid card stuff forever, and then suddenly being a viable threat for championships.
This is so good that you brought this up, Brad, because that was the last time we saw Roman with championship gold.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah. So if your prediction comes true, and Roman leaves night 2 Vegas having defeated CM Punk and is the new world heavyweight champion, what is the plan for him as champion now in this different stage of Roman's career? Because you had the bloodline, which was champ for 400 and something days, and,
right?
Even longer than, it was like almost 4 years. It was much longer than 400 some days. I think
it was
CM
like 1600 or something.
Yeah, I undershot that by quite a bit. But okay, if Roman holds gold again, I think for a lot of us as fans, we still have this picture in our mind of, the last time Roman was the top dog, no pun intended, it was attached to this generationally fantastic storyline. What would a new Roman title run look like? I don't know that we can reach the same heights creatively as that gave us, as you pointed out, but what is something that's going to be substantive? Who are going to be his challengers? Because ostensibly, if he wins, he'll be facing challengers for Monday Night Raw. Who's going to be in line? Is it a Finn Balor, like you said? Dare I say, is it an Obafemi, who we've seen pop up on Mondays and Fridays? Who are the challengers?
The crowd's doing the walk now.
Come on now. Of course, as I was doing it while watching, of course. Braun Breaker's there, so it'll be interesting. I hope Roman, and if CM Punk wins, but especially Roman, I hope that we have some new competitors who we haven't seen him in the ring with. Of course, we'll eventually get the Seth Rollins match. Again, as you pointed out, Finn Balor is a pro's pro. The Braun Breakers, the Obafemis, those are the challengers that could really make a new Roman title run be something very, very special that I'd be locked in for.
1,316 days, and it was August 30th, 2020. Was that?
That was
he beat the Fiend, right?
That was the you'll never see it coming SummerSlam. The Fiend, check this out. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus, rest in peace, versus Braun Strowman. That was the main event for SummerSlam. I remember like it was yesterday. Roman returns, spears both of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then that next SmackDown, he aligns with Paul Heyman and is the Tribal Chief.
He showed up with the Wreck Everyone and Leave shirt.
Wreck Everyone and Leave. You'll never
and then
see
it was
wow.
Yeah, and then I think the next one was Daniel Bryan and Edge. I'm gonna smash him. I'm gonna stack him. Like all of that. Yeah, it was so good. All the shots of him and Paul in the office, and Paul just like him sitting on the couch, just kind of doing the thing he does with his mouth, like the little his little shoop around the circle, and Paul just kind of staring. Oh, so good. And then it became
shout out to our YouTube viewers. If you are missing Brad's character impressions right now, I'm not saying pause your audio. We love our listeners, but shout out to our YouTube viewers because they're seeing some great content here. You nailed it. That's exactly the facial expressions those guys have.
And if not, you just heard me like swishing around my saliva. So apologies to the audio and listeners. Okay. Listen, mine's pretty straightforward. My question's about character. So we have a lot of character changes planned or happening, according to a couple of sources. I want to say it was Fightful or maybe Wrestle Features or one of those things. Sol Ruca is set for a character and music change. However, I want to ask you about your reaction to the music change, Tyler. How did you feel hearing Finn's old theme again, and does it fit his current persona?
I love it. At the beginning of the episode, funny enough, I was listening to your thoughts on where Finn Balor is at. And you seem very pro Finn, so much so that you could see him even potentially leaving Chamber as champ, which I'm not.
Do a lot for him.
I for sure would. I'm not quite there. I don't think there's any shot that happens, but I love you. So either. I love you, and I'm a big Finn Balor fan. I remember about 10 years ago when Finn Balor was on top in NXT. It was my senior year at U of A. I was still in college, and I bought. This is a hideous shirt, Brad, but it was my favorite wrestling shirt in my closet at the time. There was this Finn Balor NXT. It was he had like the war face paint on. It was yellow. It was red. It had his hair.
Yeah.
But that was the whole front side of the shirt, and I thought I was just the hottest thing walking on campus with this. The tee just. We love Finn Balor. That was not a great wrestling T-shirt. but I was fully entrenched in the Finn Balor, Prince Finn, but then he has this demon alter ego. Like, I was here for Finn Balor when he was in NXT. And then, as legend goes, he debuts on Monday Night Raw. He gets the main title right off the bat, but then unfortunately, he has that brutal injury. And it seems like his career, not that it hasn't been the same since, but as a fan, I have not been as invested in Finn Balor as I was literally that first or second week he was on the main roster. And that's about a decade ago at this point, which is nuts to say aloud. So my point is, I love the music being back. It's funny what you said about his timing with the entrance. Maybe even he forgot the timing with the arms spread out, but which is hilarious. I noticed that too. But anything to get Finn Balor back in a meaningful spot. I have enjoyed his work in the Judgment Day. It's not as if he hasn't been doing anything over the last few years. I would be really invested, rather than, let's say, Finn Balor being in a triple threat versus Roman and Punk at Mania, I would be way more invested in Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. Sure. It seems like those seeds have been planted where eventually we're going to get that feud and get that match. But I would think come April, that's going to be a time for Dominic Mysterio to lean into being a full-blown babyface, and Finn Balor perhaps turning more to the dark side, if you will, and embracing more of a heel persona, not necessarily a heel who plays video games in the back, but like an actual like vicious heel, which we've seen Finn Balor be very effective at. So the music is back. I'm here for cool Finn, but I would love to see him really turn up that vicious heel persona, eventually leading to him defeating Dominic Mysterio at Mania. I think we've seen all we need to see with the Dominic Mysterio IC run. It's been uber successful. I see him in the AAA ads all the time when I'm scrolling Instagram. So the dude has had a come up in his career, 1000%. I think that SummerSlam you mentioned with The Fiend and Braun Strowman, was that the same SummerSlam that Dominic Mysterio debuted against
2019? 2020,
the year before. Maybe?
Oh yeah, that would have been.
I think it was 2020. I think it was 2020, right?
Well, 2019 is when Finn fought the Fiend. Oh no, that was 2020.
I think that was 2019 because it was in front. It was in front of Canadian
no COVID.
crowd.
Yeah,
no, yeah.
It had to be 2019.
I think that's when Dominic Mysterio debuted either 2020 or 2021 SummerSlam.
I think it was the last year after that. Yeah, or with Ray in a tag team, right?
Right, exactly. To think where we are now
with the swim shirts and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. To think where we are now, exactly with Dominic Mysterio, and it seems like on any given week, him and Liv Morgan could easily lean into being baby faces, or they could stay 10 toes down, or I guess 20 toes down in this scenario, with being heels. I'm really intrigued. I think for Dom and for Liv Morgan, obviously both are going to be prominently featured on the marketing for WrestleMania this year. I mean, obviously Liv Morgan is the Royal Rumble winner, but I think Dom is going to have a prominent spot. I would like that spot to be a one-on-one versus Finn with Finn going over. So I love the music, and I hope it leads to him getting that match to effectively end his time in the Judgment Day. I think he's been ready for that.
I agree completely. And I think, I was looking back and trying to figure out, like, what did WWE see in him at the time, besides talent, obviously talent and experience and great look, all those things. But I wanted to throw it on here from, hold on one second, July 25th, 2014, an article from WWE.com. Inside article, WWE signs Fergal Devitt. So he was signed in 2014, and he said something I've been looking forward to since I'm maybe 4 or 5 years old, yada, yada, yada. Devitt honed his craft in the UK and US independent scenes before entering the notoriously disciplined dojos of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, hear me out. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 3 times. He was at Wrestle Kingdom, I think 8. But he said he was looking forward to getting to get in the ring with somebody named Neville, Becky Lynch, who he helped train, and the article linked inside of this, and he was really looking forward to Sami Zayn. But the article linked inside of this was, watch Kenta's signing. I forgot Kenta was even signed with WWE. That was in that same article. Yeah,
the artist formerly known as Hideo Itami, Black and Gold NXT. I remember those days too.
Totally forgot. Yeah. So I guess the point is, because this was almost my question, Tyler, about my girl Julia. They're letting her go strong style. That was as close as we're going to get. Rhea was kicking the living crap out of her. They went out there and worked like a strong style match. I think without a shadow of a doubt, if they let Finn Balor go out there and let it rip like he's working New Japan with CM Punk, he could leave champ and nobody would bat an eye. Because if you allow people to go out there and do that style, I think that's so foreign to the bulk of the WWE audience that it might translate as, wow, I've never seen anything like this before, and then immediately take off, which is why I think Julia is about to skyrocket, because they're having her, if they let her work the way she's currently working, she's going to be a megastar. And imagine the absolute slapper that's going to happen between Julia and Steph if they let them both work that way. Imagine her and any of the Japanese women that came from Stardom, or New Japan, or what is it, Total Joshi Total Joshi Pro. Like there's a whole bunch of women that have done all of those things. So I just, the sky's the limit with that. But I also think the same for Finn, who grew up working in the UK. They're not like holding back in the UK when they're training. So I want to see it. It's been so long since he's done anything except have a rope explode.
Wow. Yes. Yeah, we have seen Roman versus Finn. That's right. When I was saying that, I was like, I think we've seen this before.
He referenced it before the first CM Punk one. Yeah.
It was at Extreme Rules with
Roman looked up at God and then pinned Finn Balor.
The exploding turnbuckle. Oh man, we've really been through some things.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That was rough.
It was not great.
He's just so talented, dude. And come on, like you could probably grate cheese on that dude's abs. It's ridiculous how shredded that guy is. Absolutely insane. There's no transition into this segment from that. So we're just going to go into it. There's a lot to be grateful for. We said it at the beginning of the pod, which was a while ago now. So let's talk about it. Let's express some gratitude. Play the music.
And now it's time for a little self-reflection. So, think about yourselves. Or something.
Tyler, I'm going to kick it off by saying something simple to you. This week, I am just grateful for you. I've said it off air, and now I'm saying it on air. Tyler is a workhorse. He is the person that makes this pod run. He has done so much work behind the scenes that people will never see. Could not do this. We always say this to each other, but we couldn't do it without each other. I couldn't do this without you, but like you really are the engine that drives this thing and why it's been held together. Because I'd be over here with duct tape, just plugging holes for leaks and stuff like that. You keep this thing running, and I am just so grateful for you and all the work that you put in. I'm also grateful for all the work my kids are putting in over at the theater. I was expressing to you one of my kids from the ground up. I'm talking like we got an old extension cord and cut it up into pieces and that's how we wired our lightning bolt for this show. Is old cord that we couldn't use anymore, cut. Now we have a plug. Let's plug it into all the other apparatus that we have to buy. And this kid, 16, 17 years old, fashioned an entire light fixture. And it's amazing. And to do that without having any soldering experience, wire cutting experience, electricity experience. On top of that, I got a kid making an articulated wing set. I got a kid that made a Minotaur that's about, I think it's going to be like 12 feet tall by the time it's done. Doing all this really, really cool stuff. And it's just like looking around for a second going, who gets to do this? Like nobody gets to do this. This is not a normal thing that people just get to do. I'm so blessed, and I just have so much to be grateful for. I'm probably the most grateful for them. I got quiet to look back at my door and go, they put up with me. And this time of the year is a tough time for me. I'm so grateful that I have a family that understands all the work that I'm trying to get done, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without them either. So I'm just grateful for you, grateful for my family, grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for this life. What a life.
Wow. Well said, man. Well, obviously I love you. I love your girls. And yeah, I love this life that we get to live. I think back to when I was at Cactus and I left there I think it was the end. I think it was the end of January, if I'm not mistaken. So it just dawned on me a few weeks ago as we started out a new month, and I was like, wow, I remember just a few years ago how overwhelmed I felt with just my professional responsibilities and just feeling unsure about where I was at professionally and personally. Like, oh, I'm in my late 20s and now I'm back in the valley from Tucson and I'm starting over, and this is just really hard. And I just asked myself all of these questions, and here we are. We're almost into March, back in a classroom, and just feeling good about the work that's being done and feeling like I'm healthy and I'm well and I'm happy. And we have the podcast, which thank you for your kind words, my friend. I would extend kind words back to you with all the time that you put in to make us look as good as we do. I don't have my Finn Balor shirt anymore. I've upgraded my fashion since then, but I would say we look pretty good. And I am so proud of the community that we've created. So for those who have commented on YouTube, for those who have left us kind words on Instagram and on Facebook and left us likes and hit us up, please know how much that means to Brad and I. I'm so proud and so grateful for what we get to do at GI while navigating these other responsibilities that we have professionally and personally. It's just, like you said, it's a blessed life we get to live, and it's so great to see you and so great to be kicking off 2026 strong here on the podcast. The best is yet to come.
It's amazing.
It's not a gimmick. We really mean it.
It's amazing that we're what, like about a sixth of the year done. We sure
are. We sure.
How is that possible?
We sure are.
And you know I love you too, and thank you for those words. There's no transition into this because can be like, yeah, I'm grateful for all these things. Let's talk about Hangman. Let's get into AEW though. Hit me with your question. I'm intrigued.
For sure. I am as well. So, as you pointed out, or you teased us here, Hangman Adam Page made an offer to MJF on last week's Dynamite. He said, face me in a Texas death match at Revolution, as I am the #1 contender. And if I lose, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, I can never challenge for the AEW Men's World Championship again. It's worth pointing out, not just again while MJF is champ, but just again, period. I think, Brad, for AEW fans, us included, this was giving us shades of Cody Rhodes implementing the stipulation and maybe cursing the rest of his AEW run. He was TNT champ, but in hindsight, I think a lot of the fan base is still left scratching their heads about why that needed to happen in the first place. So I want to know, what did you make of this face-off between MJF and Hangman Page? It dawned on me while I was watching Dynamite. We were in the building about a year ago for a very similar face-off between these two guys. It was leading to a one-on-one match at Revolution. Neither were champion at the time, but Hangman and MJF have been two day one originals of AEW, two of the most successful homegrown talents that the company has built over the last, the last 6 or 7 years. So what do you think about where we're at with these two feuding again? And more specifically, this ultimatum, this opportunity that Hangman has given MJF. What do you think of it? Do you think this is actually what's going to play out at Revolution, or might we be in store for a creative pivot as soon as this Wednesday when MJF responds?
Well, he did kind of respond already on X, I think. I can't remember if he responded in the affirmative. I'd have to look it up, but I know I think he teased that was in fact going to happen because he was out fighting the Bloodline in House of Glory. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. These two feuding for a long time, or not a long time, but like just sort of like on again, off again forever. They're just enemies to the end. They have such good chemistry in the ring. I don't care. They could let them fight forever. I like that they go back to it every once in a while. It doesn't, because they're changing it up and it's not just a straight match. It still feels fresh. If it's accepted, I don't know if he'll accept it, but I also wonder, like, why does he have to offer it? So that's the part that I don't really get. If he's already the number one contender, it doesn't imply he already has the match.
Right.
So why does he have to put that up?
Could it be a case of what you said, that maybe to avoid potential fan fatigue, this match needed something else, whether that be, okay, it's going to be inside a steel cage, or it's going to be Texas Death with an added stipulation. I suspect maybe that was part of the thinking. Was, okay, fans have seen this before. Will people really pay a ticket to see this main event? Like you said, I mean, it sounds blasphemous saying it because they're two of the best workers in the entire company, but we have seen this feud. This is a new element that, I mean, it got me to ask you about it on the podcast. I'm intrigued to see what happens. I don't think MJF is losing his title anytime soon, but are we really going to live in a world where Hangman Page is never world champ again?
I wonder if something came up where he got MJF, pronoun spell, if he got offered like a movie shoot or something and they have to pivot with the schedule. That I can see a way out for him to kind of protect him, especially if somebody gets involved to cost MJF in what is essentially a no rules match. I don't know who that would be because there's so many options.
I'm thinking about you, Swerve Strickland. Either way, I could easily see him costing Hangman, and then that rivalry is renewed. Swerve costing
and
Hangman.
Oh, I see. I could see that. I could see Swerve costing Max, and then Hangman. I guess Swerve inserts himself as the number one contender, and then we get another Swerve Hangman. I'd pay for that. I'd pay to watch that again. There's a lot of options there. Does Brody King get involved in that at all? Does Darby show up or something? I don't really know. Maybe Wardlow comes back. I don't know what his timetable is for return, or Jay White, or, there's so many options here that Max is pissed off over the years, or people just don't like him. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what's going to happen. That's what I think is so much fun. There's a lot of opportunities with this to go a different direction than what we expect. I hope for the sake of the title run that it doesn't end, because I'm really enjoying Max's current title run. But I also think that, for audience fatigue, like you said, they figure something out. We'll see. I don't think MGF drops it though. I just don't.
No, and I believe in their last two contests, Hangman has come out victorious. I remember with full clarity, he defeated MJF at last year's Revolution. So I'm just thinking about sort of their career record. Max appears due to best Hangman in this scenario.
Yeah. And Texas Death, I'm not sure what his record is in that. I think he's undefeated, but I'm not sure. I thought he dropped one.
I thought he dropped one as well. He beat Moxley last year, obviously, at All In Texas to become the champ.
Right.
Prior to that, did he face Lance Archer?
That's what I was thinking, because Lance Archer's done Texas Death.
He's been in 2 or 3. Christopher Daniels, he beat in Texas Death, right?
That's right. But for Texas Death, it's like that's also Lance Archer's deal. So I don't know. We just haven't seen it in so long that I kind of forget that it exists. But
I'm pretty sure he's lost at least one occasion.
Yeah,
and soon to be a second one in LA at Revolution. I don't think Hangman's beating him. But stranger things have happened. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, Tyler. The world's trios champions defended against the Demand this week. My question is real simple for you. How good is the Demand as a trios?
You'd be proud of me. I caught this match on Saturday night, as a matter of fact. And they're fantastic. They should be the trios champs by now. I love all of the ingredients of Jet Set Rodeo. The aforementioned Hangman Page, we've spoken about him at length throughout the history of this podcast.
Got to see him win that title live. That was fun.
Yeah, that was very fun. We were there to see these 3 get crowned. Hangman's fantastic. You know how high I am on Jet Speed. As individual acts, as a tag team. Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Nair are 2 of my favorite workers in the entire industry, regardless of the company. They're exceptional. Them as a trio... well, let me say this. The Collision match, the opener versus the Demand, super fun. I mean, just the quintessential AEW 6-man tag. I mean, the spots and the athleticism. And Toa Leona probably looking the best out of anyone.
Wow.
It was great. This match to me, it reminded me how much I love the Demand. You and I really saw the pieces coming together for these three to be a trio. Bishop Khan even liked one of our tweets months and months ago as these guys were forming. Shout out Bishop Khan. We see you.
Yeah.
So I need them to be trios champs at some point this year. If it does not happen by Christmas of this year, something has gone terribly wrong. I'm glad Ricochet has singles gold right now, although I don't know that the national title is needed. There are just so many belts in AEW.
Many.
But if one was going to be created, who should get it on the men's side of things? Definitely Ricochet. This match also reminded me how great he's been since coming to AEW. He's been eating lots of pins. A little.
He had a poison Rana in this, didn't he?
He sure did. Did. And I wasn't in love with. And granted, they set this up on Dynamite with the backstage segment featuring the Demand. Yeah. Of course, predictably, Jack Perry was going to come out and not even interfere. Just do the classic. Their music plays. He's standing on the ramp. He causes the distraction. Yeah. Ricochet, a cagey veteran who's won titles all over the world, is distracted by his nemesis, so much so that he turns around and eats a buckshot lariat. So Ricochet, an amazing seller in the ring, incredible athleticism. Him finally being the leader of a group, it's great. I think the move will be he loses that title to Jack Perry, the national title, maybe in Perry's backyard of LA, speaking of Revolution, at the pay-per-view. And then this summer, we pivot to the Demand winning those trios championships. They really, I think they would really benefit from being champs. And I also think the titles would be elevated with the Demand wearing them and defending them often. I think this would be a case of it's good for both parties. It's good to raise the stock of the title, and it's also good for the talent itself and can elevate them to that next tier. They're fantastic. I love the Demand, and they killed it against Jet Set Rodeo. What say you?
I don't have much to add there. I thought they were an incredibly good-looking tag team with amazing chemistry pretty quickly. I mean, they've been together a little while now, but it was like this group just kind of seems like it's belonged together for a long time. They just looked right to me, and they're so different as individuals that I think it just works. To your point, I think they need to be the ones that take those trios belts, but I don't know that happens until Ricochet is no longer holding singles gold, and maybe that's what happens. Maybe you take that championship and merge it with the AEW Men's World Championship and make it something else and call it something slightly different, and that's the way out of that contract step for Hangman Adam Page. As soon as he signs that I never will contend for this one, change it, and then you can contend for that one.
I'd love to see Ricochet in the men's world title picture as well. This is also around this time last year when he was feuding with Swerve. And I want to say at Revolution.
Stealing his coat.
Exactly. I want to say
threatening to take his weed.
Yeah, threatening Prince Nana. I want to say Revolution 2025, that was the number one contenders match between Swerve and Ricochet. And granted, it was clear that Swerve was going to win and then fight Mox at Dynasty. But there was a real case for Ricochet. I mean, when he mixes it up with the guys at the top of the card, the Swerve Stricklands of the world, in this match, we got to see him and Hangman share a ring again. I mean, he fits right in. And if there's a world, if we can have nice things, Brad, and Samantha Irvin makes her way to AEW and becomes a manager.
Yeah.
Come on now. We need this. And whether it's managing our newly crowned trios champions of the Demand or whether Samantha Irvin comes in and Ricochet is elevated to, say with my chest, to the world title picture. Either way, he's just proven to be incredibly valuable in AEW. He seems happy. He's talking his ish online about how happy he is and how much he believes in himself. And I think he's just been one of the really great AEW signings. Last thing I want to say, the part that popped me in this match was when Toa Leona was running around the ring and shoulder blocking dude, just ramming into people and knocking them silly. And then I think this was right before they went to commercial. You talked about how they just fit together seamlessly. Yep. They have this moment where they sit on the apron posing, arms crossed, and Toa Leona was a little bit too far from Khan and Ricochet. So he sort of like, not cartwheel, but he sort of like maneuvered himself to to be seated next to them. It was funny because I think he kind of like kicked Ricochet in the head, but then he positioned himself. Toa Leona, no business being as agile as he is, a man of that size.
He's a giant human being.
I love the demand, and like I said, if by Christmas they are not trios champs or did not have a title reign, something has gone horribly wrong, and Tony Khan will have to answer to us for that.
Tony Khan must answer for his crimes. Well said by me.
He would have
well
to.
Established. Yeah, well established meme.
We need these trio titles to mean something.
Yeah,
it means something to us.
I agree. I can't say that this movie means so much to me that I have to change my lifestyle, but I do want to talk about it, Tyler. It's time for GI at the movies, Anaconda.
And now, it's time for GI at the movies.
Okay, Tyler, I watched Anaconda, Home Video Jones. I thought about making this a promo of the week. Why are rentals $20, but you can buy it for $25? Anyway, neither here nor there. We own Anaconda now because it was like it's $4.99 more, and we can watch it again if we want to. So it's there, and now we own it. Now we're talking not original Anaconda, to be clear. This is the new Jack Black, Paul Rudd, actually a loaded cast. Why can't Steve? Is it Steve Zahn? I think that's his name. I always screw up his last name.
You got it. I last saw him in White Lotus season 1. He was great.
He's great in everything, but to have Jack Black and Steve Zahn back reunited again, they've done comedies in the past in the 90s. They end up becoming a couple by the end of the movie. God, I can't remember which movie that is. Is it Forgetting Sarah Marshall? I can't remember which movie it is. It's one of those, I think. Early Jack Black, before Jack Black was, Jack Black. I loved this. It's not a good movie, but I loved it for the nostalgia and the self-awareness that they're making they're trying to reboot it. People were saying it's not funny enough. The comedy is not nearly comedy enough. And I'm like, you're watching an Anaconda movie. Like, I think the funny comes from the giant snake shockingly murdering people in a way that's really surprising and watching the comedians react to it. That's the funny part. Paul Rudd going up in a little like boat with a small motor on it and going, hey, over here, this woman, this NPC from the movie gets killed in the trailer, and you see her go, oh, thank God, and then a snake just gone. Him going, ah, and just backing up and getting out of there is, why do I need more jokes than that? I thought it was great. The whole thing is absurd. It's really fun. If you've seen the original one, they talk about the cast of the original one. The woman that is, spoiler alert, killed in the trailer is actually on another boat that passes them, where I don't want to spoil any parts of the film, but they're also rebooting the franchise and filming Anaconda out on the river, and then hilarity ensues, and eventually we have a couple of cameos from some of the original cast members, which I will not spoil for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. But it's I thought it was a lot of fun. I got exactly what I thought I was going to get: Paul Rudd and Jack Black in a movie about big snakes. I don't really know what people were expecting, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I was smiling. I was happy. I was not in a good mood, and I still had a good time. And it was good. If you see it, I'm not saying go out and spend $25 on it like I did, but if it's available and you have some disposable income, I doubt it. And if you see it on one of the streaming platforms, give it a watch. It's worth your time. It is a couple hours well spent.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jack Black and Steve Zahn have quite the filmography. I don't know, when we think about like who are the actors of this generation,
it's wild.
You can throw so many names. Of course, there's Leo. Obviously, you and I are big fans of Daniel Kaluuya. There's Michael B. Jordan. I mean, there are just so many heavyweights right now. Dwayne Johnson, a part of the greatest film franchise of our time, Fast and Furious.
Saving Silverman. Sorry, I had to get that in there. That's what it was.
There you go. Good call. Point being, Jack Black, Steve Zahn, two guys who have been in a lot of movies, and especially, like you said, Brad, movies that have not only sort of been a big part of the zeitgeist, but have also kind of shaped important parts of our life. I remember being a youngster and School of Rock coming out and how much I was into that. Nacho Libre is still referenced by kids who weren't even alive when the film came out. I see this every day. And like I said, Steve Zahn, whether it's White Lotus or any number of roles he's played, they've just been really solid, especially Steve Zahn, like just a really Underrated performer for sure. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie, man. Those $20 rentals are something, but like you said, you can own it for $25 if you so choose. I don't think you did this time.
I did enjoy that. I did not enjoy you saying when I was a youngster.
I
was a junior in college.
When School of Rock came out?
2003, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was 10. In case you was born in 93, so that would, yeah.
Oh, okay. Tyler, what did we miss besides a decade?
What? We did. Okay. I have a few items this week in particular. We must start with the University of Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team. Brad, you and I both love the sport of basketball. You and I both love the state of Arizona. The Wildcats, man. We got to talk about this win at Houston. I, an ardent University of Arizona supporter, was not very optimistic about the guys' chances playing the number 2 Cougars.
Neither was all of ESPN, in fairness.
No, my goodness, did they prove me and a lot of America wrong. Mm-hmm. The Wildcats, a Koa Pete-less, a Dwayne Aristotle-less Arizona Wildcats walked in to Houston, to the Fertitta Center, and they won 73-66. Now, this was a big matchup, as you pointed out, featured on ABC, as a matter of fact, on Saturday afternoon, because U of A was ranked number 4 at the time with a record of 25-2, going against Houston, then ranked number 2, now with a record of 23-4. So an impressive, gritty performance from our beloved Wildcats. And as the month of March, I think I said that correctly. Yeah. As the month of March.
Yeah, you got it.
Tongue twister. Yeah. As the month of March looms closer, I could not be more optimistic about this year's squad. You and I have talked about it really since the season kicked off and since U of A got off to such a great start. No longer undefeated, but have really done some impressive things this year. As we get closer to March Madness, man, the vibes are tremendous. The hopes have never been higher. Just this weekend, I was at the Suns game against the Magic, which was also very fun. The Suns won in double overtime. But I received no less than 5 Go Cats or Bear Down compliments when I was at the Mortgage Matchup Center downtown. I had my U of A hat. And I was even in Fry's this morning, Brad, and a lady gave me a high five and wanted to talk about the game because I had on the shirt that I have on right now, the Block A. So the vibes are just tremendous. I think the belief in this year's team is really something to behold. So we will see what happens. I'm excited. Bear down, go Cats. Secondly, no transition for this. Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away since we last recorded at the age of 84. A civil rights icon, a former presidential candidate, someone who really laid the foundation for political figures of today. Of course, the President Barack Obama's and others of the world. An incredible trailblazer, a fascinating career, and someone who is leaving a huge, huge legacy. And then finally, Brad, my most recent guilty pleasure on Netflix. I don't know if you caught any of Star Search, the revived Star Search, hosted by Anthony Anderson.
Sure, watched the original.
Yes, yeah. They revived the IP for this, hosted by Anthony Anderson. Now with Roxy Diaz, one of my childhood crushes when I was a youngster. Happy for Anthony Anderson and Roxy.
So
Diaz.
I was 32 at that time.
Yeah, that's okay. Star Search was really good, man. It's now over. The finale happened. It was like a 5 or 6 week experience.
Oh, I had no idea.
I think what Star Search did well, what Netflix really capitalized on, is this live voting experience. So the gimmick was when there were performers, and it was like the original Star Search. There were young singers. There was an ensemble dance crew. There were magicians. A magician named TJ Salta ended up winning the grand prize, but that's neither here nor there. During the show, you could vote on your remote how many stars you would give them, and that would be a part of their overall score, which would decide if they advanced or not. Yeah, so it made me think, A, how has this not happened already before, where it was this interactive experience? And B, for Netflix, I think this is another sign of they're really coming for the prize of being the most in-demand top streaming platform with the live content they're bringing on. They obviously have Monday Night Raw on lock every week. With the success of Star Search, I think Netflix is also just shown how they're able to tap into these different markets and these different fan bases, and particularly with Star Search. It was fascinating, man. It was a really, really good viewing experience.
It's great.
And finally, you broke this news to me. This might be my longest "What Did We Miss" ever. You broke the news to me. Speaking of Netflix, in May, a live event is happening. Gina Carano returns to the cage to fight also a returning Ronda Rousey. This will be Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul's his company. This will be their first foray into the world of mixed martial arts. So we got Star Search now. In a few months, we're getting this MVP sponsored MMA event. I'm going to tune in for this. I'm fascinated by it. I want to kick it to you to hear your thoughts and maybe even your predictions. But Netflix continues to take some chances, and in this case, was successful again. Star Search, it's really good. It's available for replay on Netflix now as well, even though I spoiled it for you. Sorry about that.
It's all good. I doubt I'll watch it, but I might. It depends on what they want to watch. If they want to watch it, cool, we'll do that.
I think the girls would. I think the girls would like it.
They would definitely like it. They would definitely like it. And Anthony Anderson is awesome. So, I think. Okay. Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey. I may have called it a name of the event that I will not say on here online, but I too will also be watching this. This is like, if you put me back, you just sent me to the past, I'd be up for this. This is going to be an exciting thing. I just want to see the fight. I want to see what they look like at this age, also fighting. I have no idea about Gina Carano, but I know Ronda's a mom now, and things are just different. And I wonder what that looks like in the ring, and if they're actually going to be fighting, or if it's going to be what we've also seen on Netflix sometimes.
What you've told me about. Right. I've abstained from some of the other MVP sponsored events, but for whatever reason, this one, I remember when Gina Carano, when she was in Strikeforce, I remember going to my local Blockbuster and renting the Strikeforce DVDs.
Well, Ronda was in there too, right? And then that's how she got signed to UFC.
They never faced off. Ronda Rousey was the star of UFC. Gina Carano was in this upstart Strikeforce, and then the stars never aligned for them to actually square off. So I don't know if this is given like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, where at least we're getting it, even though it's happening years after both were in their prime. But like you, I'm going to be tuned in for this one come summertime for sure.
Okay, so I have something kind of simple. It was the Pistons and the Knicks, and I wanted to throw this out there. Number one, Cade Cunningham dropping 42. Number two, I think they've won 5 or 6 straight, and that's with the suspensions. I think the last loss was against I want to say it was the Warriors. I can't remember, but the Pistons they're on fire, and I haven't felt this good about a team in a long time in Detroit. And somebody mentioned them being like the Lions. You're lucky to have a team as good as the Lions in basketball. And we're like, pretty sure it's the other way around, pal. I can count how many championships the Pistons have won. But mostly it was the online reaction of the Knicks fans going like, congrats on your Super Bowl. And it's like, the Pistons have won a championship more recently than the Knicks have been in a finals appearance. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I got a little spicy about that because it was like, you're just you young upstarts. Like they fell off for a long time, but it's not like they've been bad forever. They're just good now. And Bickerstaff, by the way, just throw trophies that way. Just throw them all that way. Because holy bleep, go back 2 years. Just go back 2 years about that misery to where they are now. It's crazy. What a turnaround, man.
We have a yearly award named after your Pistons of yesteryear. The Monty Williams was good until it was an award.
I think that came out of the Suns, wasn't it? Was it Pistons or Suns? I think it was.
Oh yeah, okay. I was trying to be sly and fit that one in.
Yeah.
It's something that has bonded us. The Monty.
Well, they came after the Suns and went right to Detroit.
It started out with the Suns, but what solidified it? I don't think we had this award until the disaster of Monty Williams in Detroit happened. Still a fascinating scenario. How can he be the best coach in the league?
Yeah.
And it just falls apart. But I'm so happy for you, man. Detroit is up right now. They got a squad. You and I were talking before we were recording. These NBA playoffs, although the league is dealing with tanking allegations right now, the playoffs that we seem primed for come April are going to be delicious. If we are in store for a Pistons Knicks rematch in the playoffs, dare I say an Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, that's going to be must see. And your Pistons, listen, we love Mike Steph. I love my mom. I've also been a Knicks fan for a good portion of my life. They're my backup team, my second team. I want the Knicks to do great things. Your Pistons they're a tough matchup for the guys.
Yeah, they are. Yes,
you have your Cade Cunningham pop figure.
Cade. Yep,
yes, you do. This
Yep.
could be. We talked about this with U of A, Brad. This could be your year for your guys to do some magic in a couple months. I'm excited for you. They look good. Cade Cunningham is legit. He's a star.
They lost last year, and I think they needed to lose last year. And it's one of those things you grow out of the loss. And
Absolutely.
Everybody that said Cade isn't a number one, that he's a solid number two, and he'll never be a number one guy. I want them to think real long and hard about what their words were.
You got your one and your two. You got Cade and Duran. You're set.
Yeah,
he's shooting around these guys. But
yes.
They're right there. They really.
But
are.
that's why, like, you emphasize the strength, right? Like that's what a good coach does, and you just go like, no, play Detroit basketball, get in there and just mug people, like that'll do it. That's what's working.
It worked in the 80s.
Yeah,
worked in the 90s.
It's Joe Dumars right now sitting up in a booth somewhere wearing his glasses with his arms crossed, just going nodding yes, just nodding. The only other thing that I think we missed this week. Tyler, we missed the entirety of the Olympics. I didn't see almost any of it, but I have been paying attention to online reactions. It's been a lot of fun to watch that. And I can't tell you how many times that I've played and laughed at. Unfortunate for the person involved, the French skier that got absolutely thwacked in the balls with the gate coming down on his what do they call that? The slalom course in downhill. Tried to come around the gate and caught it, and you just hear this I can't describe it to you. It's very sing-songy, the pain. The commentator did him so dirty on this. I will send you the clip later, Tyler. It is hilarious. More for the commentary than just the painful sound, because everybody will resonate with the sound that has been there. But like the commentator just it's dirty business what that guy did.
Understood. I have no frame of reference. You know that I've been pretty tuned out to the Olympics. I guess I've not done my patriotic duty, but I do look forward to the link that I'm sure is on my way.
This is fun, man. This is really fun.
This was great, Brad. And please, everyone out there listening and watching us, first know how grateful we are for you once again. And please be sure to follow us at GIPod19 for all of our exclusive show updates and more. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.